What I have made for myself is personal, but is not exactly peace. Most of us live less theatrically but remain the survivors of peculiar and inward time, isn't it? This is from the White Album by Joan Didion. I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly. So, welcome back. Welcome to episode 101 of Pages and Beyond podcast show by Tanvi. On this note, I am going to talk about this book today, The Correspondent by Virginia Evans. The book that everyone is talking about that has made rounds on internet, on my Instagram feed and everywhere else. So, let's find out whether it is overhyped or is it worth reading. Before I talk about the book, let me give a brief about the author. Virginia Evans is from the northeastern United States. She attended James Madison University for her bachelor's in English literature. After starting a family, she went back to school for a master's of philosophy in creative writing at Trinity College in Dublin, Ireland, where she studied under tutors including Kevin Parr. She now lives in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, with her husband Mark, two children Jack and May, and her red Labrador Bridget. That's about the author. Let me go ahead and tell you what's there inside this book. So, this book is written in the form of letter that is called epistolary novel. So, in this book, the story is followed through the letters, which is started by Sybil. Sybil is the main female character of this book, who is writing letters to everyone and anyone, like whoever she knows and with whom she want to communicate. So there is the setup that she's having at her place. There's a corner where all the stack of papers are put and all the setup and all the items that she need to write a letter and to make it ready to post. So all that setup is there. The author has written this thing. The part where she sits and write letter is portrayed very well. So in this, how the story goes is like Sybil is writing letters to her brother, her children, her friends, acquaintance, and strangers also. And following that, some letters are so raw and unfiltered that they will make you think, what? How can somebody say like that? And some letters are like the heartfelt confessions. They are like, bhai मेरे को नहीं हो रहा है, I just don't want to do this. So these kind of letters are taking the story ahead, which started with Civil when she was in her 70s. She started writing this in this book. The letter writing has started when she was in her 70s, when she was sending letters and communicating with people all across where her people were living. At this age of 70s, when her husband was dying due to cancer, ex-husband of course, so she was surrounded by men who wanted to woo her. There were two men, Theodore and Mike. One of them even proposed her for marriage, and she was not ready to get married at that age of age in 70s. So she upfront, like, she met that guy multiple times, but later on when he proposed, and she just told him that no, it can't work like that, and she ended up with the other man, Theodore Lubac, I guess. Um, who was with her till her last breath and with whom she wrote her last letter to her sister Rosalie. That's how this story is going to proceed. There are confessions, there are redemption, there people are seeking forgiveness, some people are confessing, some people are confronting, some people are just showing their angst. Everybody is showing something in each letter that goes across from one place to another. If I have to talk about the characters, I'll start with Sybil. Sybil is a woman of wits and determination. Whatever she wants to do, she will do. Whatever she wants to say, she will say. It doesn't matter to her what other person will think about her. She will just do it, whatever she wants. Even when she was losing her eyesight, like she was going blinded, she did not stop writing letter, and she did not seek any support or a crutch. Like she did not want other people to just consider her a weakling and just help her or take her advantage. So that kind of a woman Sybil was. There is another character I want to talk about is Fiona. Fiona is Sybil's daughter who is angry with her mother Sybil because she did not showed up at her ex-husband's funeral, and there due to some misunderstanding, she did not confide in her mother, and she shared other things, shared some confidential or personal things with her aunt instead of mother. And while this exchange of letter was happening, it came out like Sybil was unaware of it, and she was like, "Oh my God, my daughter don't trust me. She had to share it with her aunt rather than me. I should have known. I should have been there." There is this guilt with her. Like every time, no matter how much she want to do things for people, yeah, she wanted to let it go, but that guilt is always there in her mind that she could have been better. She could have done better. That's how our Sybil in this book is. And then there are a lot of character. There is one more person, that Harry Landy, that he's a teenager boy in this story who grew up as Sybil was growing up and ended up writing a book that was inspired when he was living with Sybil. Like he was a child with problems. Like his father just left hope on him. Like he left. So at the time, Sybil came forward and took care of that guy. And while his time with Sybil, he helped her in many ways, like that DNA testing that happened, that confirmed that there is somebody matching 49% of DNA with Sybil. So he helped her identify or find the address of the person whose DNA was matching. And there is this other guy, Basam, who was in that DNA project company, Kindred project company, who went out of the way to help Sybil to identify who that DNA test person matching DNA with her was, and he ended up losing his job in that personal chatting, the way he was having the conversation with Sybil and him. It was wrong. It was illegal at his part. But that set up the story somehow. Like somebody was helping somebody else out of the way without knowing them, and they just wanted to help, and the other person was totally dependent on. They just trusted that person. She was also asking him, like, send me your resume. I'll find you a new job, and that resume did all the things. That resume made him lose his job. So the characters are so much fun. There are emotions involved in it. But one thing that didn't work for me was the letters were not written with emotion. They were raw and unfiltered. People have emotions, but writing didn't have that emotion, that intimacy of writing a letter. That letter writing will have that was missing for me. Like I felt there's a lack of emotions, which was there in people but not in writing. Coming to the writing style, overall, I loved the raw and unfilteredness of this book. The way people were talking to each other. There was this guy who lost his father in a trial because he went to Sybil, and Sybil did not support him and did not let the judge take a decision on his father's behalf. So that guy just cursed her in one of the letters. Later on, she confronted and she told him like she had a reason to do that, and she couldn't control that emotion, and she was very much sorry for that. And she also told him she was exchanging letters with his father while he was in jail. That was something amusing for me. Like how, like that guy who was in jail because of her, because she could have, even when she could have saved him, he was in jail, and he was exchanging heartfelt letters with her. He was exchanging letters, and she was so much happy with those letters that men was writing very good letters to her. I don't think there is any letter with the from by that guy in this. I don't remember right now, but Sybil has confessed to that boy that your father has been sending me letter, and I love those letters. You know what? What is the best part? The best part is this book is accessible. Like anybody can read it. It's written very nicely. The other good thing is that the author has also put the unsent part of the letters that Sybil wrote, and they are also there, so that we can have the background of what is going behind the scenes in her mind. So there is also this confession how she lost her second child. So that is also there. But I thought like how why didn't it reach to anyone? Like she till the end of the story, she hasn't told anyone about it. Like even in the end where she wanted to tell her ex-husband or her daughter about that, because she was just afraid. She was afraid, and nobody knew what exactly happened when her second child died. So she was not able to confront anyone on that, and that was, I think, that guilt she will carry when she died. For me, I just like writing letters, and I wanted to read epistolary novel. Like I wanted to read how the storytelling works when writing a letter. So that was my call to pick this book. Before this, I have read another book, that is 84 Charing Crossroad, book that is also written in the form of letter. In that, there were few people involved, but in this, everybody is involved. Like Sibyl's her brother, sister, her kids, her friend, even her neighbor. Neighbor is sending her letter, and she's sending a letter to neighbor. What is the point? They can come and go in each other's house. Now, why do they have to write the letter? Then I thought, स्टोरी कैसे बनती फिर अगर वो लेटर में ही स्टोरी जानी है ना तो दैट्स व्हाई दे वर राइटिंग लेटर दैट गाय हु वाज लिविंग beside her, like the neighbor, Theodore Lover, he was a very gentle guy, and he was so much into her that he just wanted to have her with him, and he has sent a lot of invites to her and go and take him out also. So that was a very pleasing moment. I wanted a little more about it. Like there could be some happy moments, just like they were in the end, like in the ending when Sybil has almost lost her sight, and Theodore was helping her with her writing letters and sending all those letters. He was taking care of her when she was not able to see. So I thought, like, why can't those things be portrayed? But then I thought, who would have written that thing in those letters? That's why maybe that has not landed up in this book. But those moments would have been very sweet, very heartwarming, and cute, I would say. So that's the essence of a book written in the form of letters. Have you ever read any book that is written in the form of letters? Definitely, I would love to talk about that, and I would like to check out those books. One more thing, the imagination and the portrayal of the scenes and the settings that is written in this book in the form of letters, that also is very vivid. Like I was able to imagine where she would be sitting, how that stack of paper would have been put on her desk, and how she was taking a paper and writing letter. So that was very beautifully done for me. Like I love that part. There's a scene that I just love, like the setting part that I was telling. I'll put it in the caption or description. You can read it there and know what I was talking about when I said the portrayals and imagination was vivid. This book made me understand the intimacy of writing letter, how it is to write letters. And while reading this book, there were many times when I was like, I wanted to write letter. Even I had a mental note in my mind, like I made a list of people whom I want to write the letters that I won't ever send them. The conversations that I want to have ever in my life with some people or many people, I want to write them in the form of letter. Maybe someday that will come out as a book, but we never know. I just had that. I have shortlisted a diary. I was almost ready with my pen to write it, but somehow I just lost track and I didn't do that yet. But I am definitely going to do that. And I'll definitely give the inspiration to this book for sure, because I just love writing letter. Like I just enjoy the process of writing letters. So that is something I always had in my mind, that one day I'm going to write a book full of letters, whether it is in the form of a novel, novella, or maybe a poetry book. So that is there in my mind. But yes, if you are someone who loves to read letters, of course, reading a letter of other people, like कितना मजा आता होगा ना कि दूसरों की लेटर पढ़ के कैसा लगता होगा, क्या ही लिखा होगा इसने, ओहो मेरे को पढ़ना है वो, कितना पर्सनलाइज चीजें होती है ना, like किसी की बातों में झांकना, किसी के घर में झांकने वाली चीज हो जाती है. Like it feels like you are peeping in somebody's house and you are getting to know what is in their mind. So this book is going to have that experience for you. So all about this episode. If you have read this book or any other book written in the form of letters, do share your experience with me. I would like to talk about all those books that you have read. If you are an author or a community of readers and writers who wish to spread the word about yourself, do let me know through my Instagram handle Pricked Insight. Follow me on Instagram to know what's brewing ahead. Stay tuned for the next episode.